You can't strangle from a distance. The ego's most intimate contradiction. Strangulation is always described as personal, intimate, a crime of passion. That description is accurate, but not for the reasons psychology assumes. Because strangulation exposes the ego at the exact moment its core belief collapses. The ego is built on separation. I am here. You are there. What you do affects me. I must protect myself. Yet strangulation requires the complete violation of that premise. You cannot strangle from afar. You cannot do it across town. You cannot do it without eliminating every inch of space between bodies. Chest to chest, breath to breath, hands on the throat. The ego claims it wants distance, but the instant it feels threatened, it abandons distance entirely. This is not accidental. It is symbolic. A Course in Miracles is unequivocal about cause and effect. The body does nothing on its own. The body is an effect. The mind is the cause. So the real question is never, why did he kill? The real question is what he was trying to silence in his own mind. Because no one is strangling a person. There is no person. What is being strangled is meaning. The throat is not random. Breath is not random. Air is not random. Breath symbolizes life, continuity, expression, and presence. To cut off breath is to attempt to end something psychological. A judgment, a memory, an image that refuses to stop speaking. Something was reflected that the ego could not tolerate. A loss of specialness, a collapse of control, an exposure of guilt, an unbearable mirror. The ego believes peace comes from removing the threat. It believes safety comes from eliminating the symbol. But the Course offers a correction the ego cannot accept. I am never upset for the reason I think. Strangulation occurs when the ego mistakes proximity for power. It believes that by physically erasing the symbol, it can restore its internal story. But violence does not restore separation. It exposes its impossibility. This is why strangers are rarely strangled. Strangulation requires attachment, identification, ownership. My wife, my betrayal, my humiliation, my image, my identity. Special relationships are where projection hardens, where possession replaces vision, where the ego believes it has something to lose. This is also where experts stop short. They catalogue behavior, trace childhood, name trauma, assign diagnoses. They describe effects with impressive precision, but they almost never say the sentence that would undo the entire narrative. The act occurred because a thought was believed and never questioned. A Course in Miracles insists the moment of choice is always in the mind, before the body acts. The body merely carries out the verdict already decided. Anger does not become lethal by accident. It becomes lethal when it is justified. Justification is the ego's permission slip. Once justified, anything that follows feels reasonable, necessary, inevitable. The ego tightens before it explodes. It narrows perception. It constricts awareness. It collapses options until only one action appears possible. By the time the hands reach the throat, the mind has already declared there is no alternative. That declaration is the real violence. The physical act is only its shadow. This is the reversal true crime stories rarely touch. If separation is available, use it before violence. Distance the body, yes. But more importantly, distance the thought. Let the image arise without obedience. Let the surge pass without command. Let meaning soften instead of being enforced. A thought that is questioned loses its authority. A thought that loses authority cannot dictate behavior. This is why salvation is not behavioral. It is perceptual. It is the willingness to pause before meaning hardens into action. To recognize that nothing outside the mind is asking to be destroyed, and that nothing real has ever been threatened at all. Strangulation is not proof of hatred. It is proof of identification. And the tragedy is this: the ego believes it is ending the problem. In truth, it is revealing, perfectly, that the problem was never outside the mind to begin with.